about cybernetics, systemic thinking. So we've got some questions that our audience just made a couple of hours ago. Also via cell phone, they also sent us some other Twitter too.
Great.
So, can you explain us more about cybernetics?
Yes. Yes. Well, just let me say hello to all of you. Okay.
Hello.
So you are a wonderful audience.
Thank you.
So, well, I really love this topic. So cybernetics. Okay. Good. Just explain more like that. That general question?
Like an introduction about cybernetics,
good.
a general concept about it.
Good. Okay. So in a nutshell, cybernetics is the study of relationships, the study of patterns. Okay. So it's more than the study of individuals. So we study relationships, interactions, patterns. That's what cybernetics in a nutshell is.
And when you say we, you refer to the
Systemic thinking approaches.
And how does the cybernetics is used inside this kind of therapy?
Well, it has to do with how you look at things. I'm going to try to give an example. I think your audience is interested on psychotherapy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Interested in psychotherapy?
We don't hear the audience. Is our audience interested in psychotherapy?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have some left damage. Okay, good. So in the psychoanalytic tradition, to give you an example, so you are focused on what is happening inside the person, or you suppose there's something that is called a psyche. So, and that psyche is generating symptoms, so it's generating psychotherapeutic problems, let's say, but it's inside of the person. Okay? So, it's the individual without context, without relationships. Okay? So, when you think cybernetically, Marcela, so you must start thinking, how is this person related with other people? Or how this problem is produced in the type of relationships he has. And then it's no more what is happening inside of the person. It's what is happening with the person in all of the relationships he or she has.
So when you talk about a relationship, what is the relationship that exists in cybernetics regarding change and stability?
Good. Okay. So, let me elaborate a little bit more on this. I may want to use one of your audience. One of you.
Participants?
Is that fine?
Okay, yeah, let's hear some music and we want for the camera to choose a participant.
So, yeah, I need a participant. thanks for helping us with this activity. I just maybe want to ask you a couple of questions just to exemplify the question she's asking me. Can you think of a word, of an adjective that describes yourself, your personality, or
I was about to say real.
as you wish.
A word that
Yeah.
describes my personality.
Yes. Oh, sorry, the microphone. You didn't hear it.
No,
Sorry.
can you repeat for
Well, I'm just a relaxed guy.
A relaxed guy.
Yes.
Okay, good. Can you tell me how does that description of yourself was created? In what type of relationships? Like, who told you that you were a relaxed person? How did you know that you are a relaxed person?
Well, by the fact that I don't like to take stuff much seriously,
Okay.
as opposed to other people with whom I am related.
I think you're not. Can you repeat what you said?
It's the fact that I like that I see myself as a more sort of relaxed guy as opposed to the people I'm surrounded by.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. And do you remember times where you are not relaxed?
Yes, but let me think.
I know.
Sure. Yeah.
His status on Facebook sometimes are not relaxing. His status on Facebook sometimes are not relaxing because he complains about people.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. So, can you describe the relationships when you are not relaxed? With what people you tend to not to be relaxed? With what people you are different than relaxed?
With people that don't do stuff as they are supposed to do.
Okay.
I mean, when people don't like to. For example, when I'm in a team work,
Okay.
when someone doesn't want to work as we are supposed to,
Okay.
as people that go to university,
Yeah.
I tend to get a little bit mad.
Okay.
I mean, I don't tell the people what I think about that, but
You get mad?
I mean, relax. Raul is not there.
Raul is not relaxed. Okay. And let me ask the audience. What would happen? What would happen that Raul changes or the interaction changes? Or both?
Both.
Yeah. Or both. Or Raul changes because the interaction changes, or the interaction changes because Raul changes. So that's cybernetics.
How both are affected? That's what the study done. I mean, the interactor and that's what I say. The people who interact and the surroundings. That's what cybernetics.
Yes. So we can say that the individual affects the interaction, and the interaction affects the individual. That's cybernetic. It's not like cause and effect. It's mutual relationship, mutual causality. Have you ever found like people that you are not comfortable with?
Yes.
Okay. And have you found other situations with the same people that you can be a little bit more comfortable?
Yes.
So what happens? Is the person or the interaction changes?
The context.
The context changes. Okay? So it's not necessarily that everything is inside the mind. It's in the interaction, in our type of interaction. You have a question for me?
No.
Ah, okay. Good. That's cybernetic thinking in one example. I don't know if I kind of answered the question, dear Marcela.
Yeah, you did. And here we've got another question. Yeah, Twitter. It says, "Isn't cybernetics contradicts itself because it's not phenomenology? Because it tells you another way of doing things." What you were just saying.
Another way.
I don't know if you can answer.
Is there a chance to know who wrote that question?
Yeah, it's NIC 98.
Okay. She's online. Okay, good. So is there a way for her to explain a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Raul. Can you tell us a little bit more about you? I didn't just get it really, so can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yes. For example, I think it contradicts itself because it tells you what's wrong with other theories. Like in the lecture number 3, it talks about like psychoanalysis and other topics.
Yes, good.
And it tells like what's wrong, but
Okay.
it tells you what's wrong and then tells you how it's not supposed to be wrong. Tell you because cybernetics is right. So if you're gonna criticize something como la phenomenology, I think it's only describing. It's not describing and then proposing something else because then that won't be phenomenology.
Okay, I think I get the question better. Okay, so who did you read for this TV show? Kini. Very interesting reading, by the way. Okay, let me see. When we think in terms of wrong and good, or wrong and right, I don't know if that's the intention of the author, but what I want to say is that cybernetic thinking involves also linear thinking. I wouldn't say that linear explanations are wrong. I would say that linear explanations are just more limited, more than wrong. Now, at a practical level, sometimes you take decisions if you're thinking at a linear level that might be not very, how to say, productive. For instance, let me give you an example. You're going to have it if you want to be in the field of psychotherapy. When you are with a client that has problems with his family, to give you an example, and you try a couple of months and does not seem to be changing, you try other more months and it's like 1 year and you don't see a lot of change, so you have to ask, there is something not working in our interaction.
With the psychotherapist and the person?
Yeah, I mean, you can say, maybe my hypothesis is very linear. I am pushing him to do it this way. Maybe he's in the same circle, just he doesn't want to take any decision, and I'm pushing him to take a decision. Think about someone that is doubting about getting divorced. To give you an example. So I need to change my way of thinking. Yeah. So, and if I think systemically, I think you can have like a wider spectrum of possibilities. If you think, okay, it has to work, one day will work, so keep on analyzing, as it was said by the beginners of psychoanalysis. So you can stand there for 6, 7 years, and not many changes may happen. So I'm not saying that this is bad or wrong, and I'm not saying that psychotherapy should be brief or long. I'm just saying that that it gives you a different scope. It's a different way of looking at things, more than wrong or right. Yeah, but we are not, we accept linear thinking as well. I don't know if that helps. Thank you very much. What's next? Well, how's it going?
Going through the same line, here's someone a little more philosophical, and it says, how can people prove that the reality is real? Or they just can do it, and why?
Oh, it's a big question. Is this the person here? The person who did that question? Okay. So, wow. That's a very hard question to ask, to ask and harder to answer. Okay. How real is real? Okay. Yeah, more drama, yes. Well, we can go from being very objective, okay? And we say that reality is what it is, okay? So things are what they are. It doesn't matter who is the observer. So, positivism, okay? But here, there is another way of looking at. Imagine that we have a person with schizophrenia, to say it like that. So, and then we bring 3 experts, and they are going to be asked why this person has schizophrenia. Do you think they are all going to agree why he's having schizophrenia?
No. Are they supposed to be from different branches?
They are just 3 experts. Let's say that one is a more biological explanation, he's a psychiatrist. We have a cognitive psychotherapist, and we have a sociologist. Would you find differences on the way they explain why the person has schizophrenia?
Yes.
Why so?
Because they have different epistemologies.
Okay. It's like this example. Have you heard this? I didn't get this example, no? You and I? What is that? What is that?
A bird.
Yeah, the beak.
A bird. Okay.
An angle.
An angle. Do you see something else?
A line, a dot, a board.
A line of dot. Okay. Do you see something else?
Piece of paper with a number.
A piece of paper. Ah, okay. A piece of paper. Okay.
Like just the
Okay. It's folded.
bottom part.
Yes. Do you see something else? The roof of a house. A fish. Can you see a fish?
Yes.
Okay. So, what description is more real than the other?
No, it's on perception.
So, knowledge is constructed between the relationship between the subject and the object. Okay? The subject and the object. And the subject is not objective. The subject is subjective. So that's why when we say how real is real, so it depends who is the observer. And what is the element that he or she gives in order to say this is real. Have you heard the word, the map is not the territory?
The math is not.
The map is not the territory.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a representation.
It's a representation. So, is the map real? No. Let's say that you have a political map. Let's say that you have a humanistic map. That you have what else? A public relationship map. Depending on your map is the way you cross the territory. So, for me, this is a lion, you know? No? You know why this is a lion?
Because it can be
What, can you use it in Spanish sounds better?
Porque León no es como-
Porque León no es como lo pintan, so that's why this is the line. Please, what was the goal, Yeah, he was thinking. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, should we continue or should we go to a commercial break?
We're going to a commercial. Let's give an applause.
Whenever you decide.
Our
Yeah.
partner.
We're gonna be a commercial.
Very good entrance.
So, do we have commercial announcements today? Maybe we have.
And we're back. We reached Dr. Bernie for the ones that just turned on your TVs. And we were talking about systemic thinking, epistemology, cybernetics, and talking about epistemology again. Can you compare the concept of epistemology with Castañeda's concept of reality membership?
Okay. So that example in chapter 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that was a way for Kini to show that everything can be supported on power. In this case, is academic power. So look at the relationship. Okay. May I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Pedro.
Pedro, thanks for helping us. What is the power that is assigned to teachers? What power do they have in general?
The ability to transfer knowledge and give certain tools and abilities to their students to be better beings.
Okay, good. If a teacher tells you something, would you give him credit just for being the teacher?
I can give him credit, but that doesn't mean that I'll take what he says for granted.
Does it have some credit for you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think in that example, what he's trying to show is that when professors say this is true and they give elements to support it, they can prove it's true. Okay? But then they can support another argument or the contradictory argument to support it's true. And then he can go back to the same argument and support that it's true. Because it's based on a relationship that has certain characteristics. For 100 pesos that Marcela is going to give you as the host of the show, what relationship are we talking about? From the audience, we can answer that question. What relationship? No?
Anyone?
100 pesos, one of the sponsors that Marcela is offering us?
Well, the relationship with reality or considering what's true.
Authority?
Yeah. More is in what participants?
Like the teacher and the alumni.
Teacher and the students. Good. Thank you very much. Great. Okay. So,
Thank you.
teacher and student, that's one relationship. Can we find a word to summarize this relationship? Educational relationship, maybe? Okay, good. Okay. So, for instance, Marcela, in my classes, I don't like to use the metaphor of authority. I don't like it. This relationship based on authority, I don't find it very productive. Because everything seems to be based on what the teacher says, and the students should grasp it. Okay? So, I prefer to use a metaphor of collaboration. So, in my classes from Sala, I try to do things that tend to be interactive, that the students are not sitting and listening, although sometimes that has to be done. But instead of authority, I think of my students as my partners. You have some crying over there. So, that is a different relationship. I think of them as partners instead of looking at them as disciples, to say like that.
Excellent.
Okay, and now in another question. So, what is negative feedback and why is it better than positive feedback?
Okay. Who made that question?
The feedback
Positive and negative feedback. Oh, no, it's not here. Okay. The sound engineer also made a question. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, again, this words better. What is the opposite of better? Worse. Okay. So those words are problematic. Okay. Good and bad, worse and better. Good and evil. Okay. So, but we're gonna take that for granted. So, and in this case, better. What's your name, sorry? Hugo. Thank you very much for being the sound technician of today's show. Thank you. Our floor manager is texting for the next show that she's really working on. Good. So, Hugo, it's better in terms of continuity of the relationship more than stability of the interaction, more than better because it's morally better.
And then more like, more functional, more...
Yeah. In those terms, I would say it's better. Okay. I'm going to give you an everyday example. Well, in general, if we think of couple relationships, who has boyfriend or girlfriend here? Just one? Wow! Boyfriend and girlfriend, okay. Now I'm going to give you a clue and you're going to start to think of, okay? In this vision, we can say, Hugo, that relationships are symmetrical or complementary. Okay? Symmetrical relationships are more based on positive feedback, and complementary relationships are more based on negative feedback. Okay? So, a symmetrical relationship is like a tennis game. Someone hits a ball, and the other one is supposed to hit it back. And the other one is supposed to hit it back. And the other one is supposed to hit it back until one of them loses the point. Yes? Okay. So that's symmetrical. Imagine a couple that tends to be like that. So, he likes to go out on Friday. So, as she's symmetrical, or they are in a symmetrical relationship. So, you go on Friday, I go on Saturday with my friends. Okay? But then one day he doesn't go out on Friday and she goes out on Saturday. So he says, you owe me one. Is that classical? Yeah. You owe me one. Yeah, I want to see, please. Oh, you got you have an assistant. Yes, there you go. Okay. Thank you. interaction changed. Okay? Now he's not the sound technician. He's in on the show. Okay. Did you get that example? It may some. Yeah, they say, oh, this happened in my life, something like that. Okay, good. So, and then the workman said, next week I'm going to go out twice because you owe me one. Okay? That's symmetrical. So, it's more of the same. Imagine a relationship that has that type of pattern for 2 or 3 years. 4 years. 5 years.
I don't think
A lifetime. What would that happen? You see
they
the
would grow.
concept.
I mean, I don't imagine a relationship like that for more than, well, a couple of months, maybe 1 or 2 years. I don't think that it wouldn't be healthy.
It's very exciting, but it would tend to break or can get to destruction. Because, I don't know, did you always read about homeostasis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's hear the audience. Did you read about it? Homeostasis?
Thank you. So, you know that there are 2 tendencies for a system to survive. Which ones are those? Those 2 tendencies.
The one that starts with a T?
That's interesting.
Stability and change.
Stability and change. A system needs both. Yeah? So we can say that positive feedback is more based on change. Okay? And we can say that negative feedback is more based on stability. Okay? So, complementary relationships are better only in that sense. When they give you certain equilibrium for the system to survive. It is like a couple says, oh, I'm very angry at you. I didn't like what you do. Something happened, okay? And you say, oh my dear, let me listen to you. What is that I did that it was too bad for you? Is that complementary or symmetrical? Complementary. But if I want to go symmetrical, I will say, and did you remember what you did last week? That was worse than what you are telling me. And then the other part will be symmetrical. That's what you think. Let me tell you why this is better. And we have that escalation. So, which is like the worst thing in terms of stability. Because with time, that can generate violence, that can generate stress. I don't know if I explained you. If I answered the question about positive and negative feedback.
Then my negative feedback is, well, it's in resume. It's a word. In summary. Then positive feedback is more for, well, as you said, more focus on change, and the negative feedback is more focus on stability. But too much change can destroy the system.
Yes. Yeah. And too much complementarity as well. But in general, systems tend to exist more in time when they found a point of equilibrium. In general.
Between those 2 features.
In this, I mean, between the
Talking about
participants.
feedbacks, it's like in the middle of both.
Yes. In this case, we're talking about 2 people, but we can talk about more people, like in a family. We can talk about that if you want. Okay.
Can you talk us more about that? Let's give an applause to the audience. Engineer. And you were starting to talk about homeostasis. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, sure. Well, I didn't like that word homeostasis that much because it gives you some sense of being static. And I like more the word homeodynamics, which is equilibrium in movement. Because systems are always moving, but they need equilibrium. So, if we say homeostasis is like static. If we say hemodynamics is in movement. Okay? In families, we frequently find people who are the homeostatic keepers. I don't know if you have thought, or your audience has thought about that. When there is a fight, there is someone who goes, hey, take it easy, calm down. So, we must find a solution. No fighting, please. And the system goes down again. We call that homeostatic keeper. Someone who is trying to keep the peace of the family to survive. I don't know if you have all experiences in your own families, but you might be the homeostatic keepers.
Yes.
Are you the homeostatic keeper? Okay. So may I interview you?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of how you try to keep the stability?
Just telling them, for example, if we are like not fighting, but trying to be like on the same, like having an agreement, and we don't know how to get to it. I'm like, hey, so is this, and this.
Okay. What number of child are you in the family?
We're just two and I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. Okay. Good. And is there someone in your family who tends to be the ones that provokes change or that provokes discussions?
My father and my brother.
Your father and your brother. Okay.
They have the same.
The same.
Personality.
Okay.
And me too a little, but I nevertheless I am the
Homeostatic keeper. Yeah. So both forces are needed for the system to survive. At times we need more change than stability, and at times we need more stability than change, but they are always working. Is there this relationship between sodium and potassium? Do you know in human cells? That
Yes.
potassium and sodium, you know that?
Yes.
That's very basic. In high school, maybe you had a biology class, and the teacher should have told you that. Yeah, once a long time ago. And maybe you were not paying attention. But it's always an exchange of sodium and potassium for the cell to survive. It's the same change and stability I always in contact for a system to survive.
So, and they're telling me we're going to commercials.
Commercial break, okay.
Yeah, commercial break.
Makeup.
Okay, no, this is going to. All of my friends. You didn't tell me. Okay, I must need some paper, no?
Yes, please.
And when we come back, we'll talk about recursion.
Everything. I hope you know.
So you were having fun and you didn't tell me.
It's part of the show.
That's not very collaboration, eh?
Like here in the nose and
Yeah, here in Boston.
If you want, you can change from this to
Buses.
that.
Did I put the person? What happened? Because
No,
you turn your two on your head,
Ah,
like
okay.
your hands are black
Full of
too,
these
so
things,
you.
okay.
Yeah, and it's everything here, so.
Well, thank God it's not lipstick.
Thank God.
Because I think we're about to finish the
Yeah,
show. Okay.
yeah. So we're back, and before we continue, just a quick announcement, reminding you about Friday's homework.
What?
about the
That's
That was the
first
first
one.
one. And the second one is the linear
And circular.
and the third one is the one that I just said. Yes. So we're here with Dr. Bernie just for the couple of last questions. And here's one that says, can you explain us the concept of recursion?
Okay, recursion. Okay. Well, I think I already gave you a shot of that with this example of a symmetrical couple. Okay, what's the name of this snake that is biting its own tail? Ouroboros. Can you write it, please?
What's with that snake?
It's a snake that is biting its own tail.
For what?
Oh yeah, Ouroboros. Yeah. Well, that is recursion. When the husband is yelling at the wife, he's biting his own tail. Because as the pattern is recursive, she's going to attack back. And if she attacks back, she's biting her own tail because the husband is going to attack back. This can be a game without an end for the eternity. Okay? And that is recursion in this example.
So recursion is like the cycle of the same
Yeah.
segment
And
the act of violence.
this can be very, very unhealthy, thinking in the cycle of violence. Do you know the cycle of violence? Have you ever heard it?
Cycle of violence.
Cycle of violence?
Yes.
Like once, like if I scream to a person, the person's going to scream to another person. It's going to become a cycle.
Yeah. That's the idea. There are authors who said it has 3 stages. Right? The honeymoon. So, let's imagine I bother my wife. So, a couple of punches on the mouth. Oh, sorry, I was not using the microphone.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah. I bother my wife. A couple of punches on the mouth because she deserves it. Okay. Good. That's the hit. Okay. Now, I feel bad. I say, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I did that. I did it on purpose. I'm doing it because of your own. It's for you to understand. Forgive me. Blah, blah, blah. The honeymoon. Okay? Second stage. And she says, oh, yes, I can forgive you. That's fine. I was a bad wife, so. Okay. That's true, eh? That's true. Even though some. Okay. Then, second stage, escalation. He starts to get angry and say, oh, I don't like the way you wash dishes. No? And then another hit, and again the circle repeats. And that can be forever because the pattern is recursive. Okay? So, honeymoon, escalation, healing. Honeymoon, escalation, healing. That's a recursive pattern in this case, violence. When someone can go out in one of those moments, the pattern finishes. But it's recursive.
Healing is the name of the third stage. Is the name, or there's another like technical name?
There should be another technical name, but the idea is that it's a physical, sexual, or verbal assault.
Psychological too, no?
Yeah, psychological. Verbal would be like psychological. Yeah, like honeymoon, escalation, and assault. So, and something that is considered to be violent.
Okay, yeah, and for our last question, we want us to help us understand more what does synthesis means to systemic thinking.
Synthesis?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay. Have you heard fairy tales?
Yes.
Metaphors?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. old sayings?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Those are synthetic ways of thinking. Because with one example, with one little story, it's going to tell you a lot. In one, I can tell you one. There is no day that finds. No, sorry. Because I have it in Spanish. I'm just trying to translate.
Like shrimp that sleeps in those.
We could put subtitles in the.
Yeah,
Or,
may I say it in Spanish because I just find it more practical. I think we all speak
Yeah.
Spanish. Okay. No hay noche que no vea el día. No hay noche que no vea el día. So that's a saying that is very synthetic and is telling you a lot. So in our approach for psychotherapy,
How do you apply it to?
yeah, we like to use that in many different ways because imagine an explanation, someone tells you an explanation for 1 or 2 hours, and then with this type of synthetic examples, it's going to tell you everything in just one phrase, in just one image. That's synthetic. And the brain tends to get better those synthetic images. Like I'm very sure, I don't know what you think, Marcela, but in 1 more year, you as a group are going to forget many things that I just said in this TV show. But maybe you are not going to forget that we had a TV show because that was synthetic. Okay? And that was intention to make it look fun.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. This was all for tonight's show. Let's give them and we're going to give you this special diploma.
Oh,
For here.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Marcela. Give a clap to Marcela.